Hi, I'm Al Goff.
And I'm Miles Miller.
Hi, this is John Schneider.
Hi, it's John Glover.
This is Justin Hartley.
This is Steve the Knight.
This is Aaron Ashmore.
This is Cassidy Freeman, and you are listening to Starkville.
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 Starkville, House of L.
Starkville, House of L.
Starkville, House of L.
The podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Starkville's House of L. This is our episode for the Season 2 episodes, Skinwalkers and Skinwalker, singular, plural? I forget. I think it's singular. Skinwalker. Frank? What do you... Yes?
Yes, singular.
No? Okay, Frank. Hey Frank.
Yeah.
I'm Derek. Skinwalker and Visage. I'm Derek.
I'm Frank.
Hey Frank.
Hey bud. It's good to be here.
I'm a slightly congested Derek. I'm sorry for that.
'Tis the season, isn't it?
Such is the time of year. I don't remember ever being sick during the holidays as a kid, and I feel like every year now I'm congested.
Well, you have kids now, so.
And they bring everything home.
They do.
You'll learn.
Sure do.
You'll learn.
Oh, we just had RSV in the house. It was blessed.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's okay. It's all good now.
At least you don't have it times 2.
Right. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But no. Is she okay? Everything good?
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah. We're back to normal now.
This is your first appearance on Starkville's House of L since becoming a father.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So, congrats. Yeah. Even though it's been like a year. She's like a year and a half almost.
Yeah. Almost 18 months. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Congrats to you, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. It's good to be, now I have an excuse for the dad jokes. That's really the biggest consolation to me is that now I can point to a human and be like, this is why I am the way I am.
I feel like I lost my power once I became, I feel like I made them so much before a dad and then I used all of it up and now I feel like I don't have them as much anymore. The ship neutralized the kryptonite in my
interesting
dad joke necklace. Does that count as a dad joke?
Like a chain around your neck?
Yeah.
Like a
well, that's what kids are, just chains around your neck, just weighing you down. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, kids. One day I'll be long gone, and you'll listen to these. These are my Jor-El recordings for you.
Yeah. Well, it is going to take them 13 years of listening to get caught up. So
I don't have the time to devote to that. Lex says, and years from now.
Oh boy.
I love that none of them have any interest in Smallville obviously the twins are 4, but
sure.
It's like, no, we're good.
No, they don't got it.
I can kind of get Lex into Superman just a little bit, but not really.
What's his entry? What's your entry point with them? Is it My Adventures with Superman? Is it animated series? What do you start them on?
His entry point was the Crypto movie.
Nice.
The League of Super Pets, I think it was called, and that got done to death. But obviously he didn't care much about Superman in that. It was the animals that he cared more for. So he got toys out of that. He was excited about that. But it's not, he got super into Ninja Turtles, which I didn't expect at all, which was my thing as a kid, Superman and Ninja Turtles. But superheroes is not, unless it's PJ Masks, which I despise. And will drag whoever created that out into the street and shame them.
Harsh. Okay.
Sorry. But we're not here. I got
no dog in that race.
We're not here to talk about any of that. We're here to talk about Season 2 Smallville, our bread and butter.
Season 2, Episode 10, Animorphs.
Now, there's a reference. Now, did you start Smallville from the beginning? Like when Smallville? Okay, when did you jump on?
I was a late arrival. I was season 5-ish.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I spent the first 4 years of Smallville knowing very little, having watched not much of it, but feeling like, this is also. I was very much a purist back in those days
because you grew up Superman. You were a huge
I grew up Superman in a big way.
Yeah.
And I was very much a purist and sort of like any sort of quote unquote, tampering with the story felt like, oh no, why is he so much Lana or so much, I don't even remember what some of my objections were at the time, but it just felt like, they're going sort of off story. How is he meeting all these characters early? That's not how the story goes. I am sort of, embarrassed by it.
So you were an old man before you were an old man.
I was an old man. Yeah. I mean, I was born an old man. But my younger sister actually got into Smallville and was like, this show's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
put your qualms aside and watch it. And I binged it all the season, the summer around season 5, and got caught up. So I came to Smallville only shortly before Shoe really kicked off.
Wow, interesting.
Before I kicked off my shoes.
Before you kicked off your shoes.
Yeah.
How is that not a tagline we've ever?
Yeah, right. That's
interesting. That's neat to know, though. I don't think I knew that, or if we've discussed that in my old age, I have.
I don't know. We may have talked about it a million years ago. I certainly tried to make up for it by mainlining as much Smallville.
You went all in. I mean,
I went all in.
You made a trek to the Holy Land. I mean, we both
that's right. We did. We
together.
did. That was quite the quite the pilgrimage.
Yeah, the pilgrimage. Yeah, I can quantify that a little bit because I do remember in the months leading up in the even though those trailers were really good, I remember being in this well of thought of like, it's modern day, but there's no Superman symbol, like the most recognizable symbol in the world.
I remember you saying this. Yeah,
I mean, it's like, what are the 3 most recognizable symbols in the world? It's the Christian cross, the Elvis Presley, and which is ridiculous, and the Superman shield, and that you can show those to children all over the world and they know what they are. And I remember just thinking, that's such a weird take. Like, I was going to watch it regardless, but I was like, it's just odd to me that that doesn't exist here. And then of course there's elements of it all through.
Well, of course,
hold it up
right.
in shop class, or that they really played into it a whole lot. But Skinwalker is I call it a legacy episode, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, it introduces a lot of. I mean, the caves get introduced here.
Yeah.
The whole Sagith and the Mon thing gets introduced here. Like so many, breadcrumbs that last for the rest of the show start in this episode.
Well, and I forgot that, and it's kind of auspicious to be. Auspicious isn't the right word, but anyway, it's fun to be talking about it. The week after TalkVille just did Talisman.
Yeah,
which is such a heavy Naman and Kawatche Cave episode. I forgot though, and like it, a lot of season 2. I feel like for some reason it's the season I've revisited the least over the last 20 years. Yeah, 2. Because there's been several in a line here as Steve or Robin, and now you and I have been talking. I'm like, I don't think I've seen this since. I mean, I know I've seen Skinwalker since it aired, but I don't. There's a few others that I know I have not seen them since they probably originally aired, or maybe did one full watch through.
Sure.
Since the show ended in 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh dear God. Going to be 40 soon, Frank. Since the show ended, I've not really revisited the show much at all because I feel like it's kind of this perfect time capsule. And other than going back through Shoe here and revisiting some, I've not done a lot. Especially, there's like season 10 I watched as it aired and never watched again. So I'm looking forward to getting to those.
Yeah,
and a lot of those recordings I wasn't even on.
Right.
Shoe,
yeah.
So,
9 and 10. You were. Yeah.
I'm interested in that, but this is one where I remembered obviously the Kawatche, the introduction, how that came to be, the kind of the original Fortress of Solitude, if you don't include the loft and the barn. But I forgot how much extra there was to the story or the legend. That the green rocks, like I forgot about that Kryptonite's kind of mentioned. I forgot about the bracelet.
I forgot about the bracelet, and I actually checked the Smallville wiki. I was like, did they bring that back for Lois? Like, I do
remember after watching. I remember our buddy Tim was always like, he should have given that to Lois.
I had
last season.
By the time that Clark and Lois got together, spoilers, I had completely
80-year-old spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah. I had completely forgotten about it, and I remember, I think on maybe the Krypton site forums or maybe on Twitter with other Shoe folks, sort of other folks saying, "Oh, they should really bring back that bracelet." And I was like, I don't remember that bracelet. I don't think anyone remembers that bracelet.
It almost seems like something Steve would retain and mention. Like it seems like
he's good about that stuff
too. Yeah, he'll pull something out. But Tim has mentioned that before, and I remembered it after seeing the bracelet. I'm like, oh, that's what he meant. because I forgot about Kyla's bracelet.
It would have been a nice button on it because they did complete so many. They laid so many breadcrumbs like that did get a payoff.
Well, and here's the other thing: Brian and Kelly wrote this episode.
Oh, funny!
And we're obviously
so they totally could have held on to that
by the end of season 10. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't clock that. That's interesting.
They also kind of undid some of this stuff because, once Tess came around and got a hold of the Veritas journal, she tried to make Doomsday Sagith, who was Sagath in this episode.
Yeah, Kyla says Sageth.
Sageth?
The first time.
Sagath?
That's the first time we hear the name Sagith in the series, and she mispronounces it.
Like, that's not what we go with later,
no,
is it? That's not.
I have caught that before, but I'd forgotten about it until watching it.
It's amazing the stuff I have not retained over the years. This coming from the guy who used to be able to spout out every episode title in a row. And I not only that, I could do all 10 seasons in like under 90 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever, but I could also like name you every Legacy episode without having to think about it. Like I could go through and do that, and now I'm like, is this what is a Legacy? I guess
debatable, right?
Debatable. This one definitely I would call,
for sure,
because obviously this is not only the introduction to the Kawatche Caves, the octagonal disc in the wall, Naman and Sagith, and other elements of that story that I don't really think we ever revisit again, like the kryptonite, shooting fire from the eyes and all that stuff. I know some of that's mentioned in Talisman, but not all of it. Right. And but obviously this is our corridor, if you will, our wormhole to the Fortress of Solitude, where the power crystals unite and bring us into that. So it is a really important part of the furthering storyline of the show, despite the fact that listening to them discuss season 2 on TalkVille, how terrible this set was to film. How much they hated it.
It sounded miserable, to be fair.
It does. I'm like, why didn't you fix this? Like, obviously they had to have been complaining about it all along. It's like, why didn't you
budget, right?
Why didn't you just change elements of it? I don't know, but it's interesting. I mean,
it sounds like it was unchanged until they replaced it with the Fortress set.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I know in Reckoning they go back down there. I don't think we ever go back to it after Reckoning.
Back down to the caves. Oh, geez. Well, he does. Doesn't he go down there to go to the fortress? Like, doesn't he use that to get to the fortress?
If he goes back down there ever again after Reckoning, I think it's recycled footage.
Well, I think that they kept and I have not watched that stretch of the show in some time. So someone will. Tim, keep me honest here.
Tim.
But I remember him going down there, and just like the console table thing, is still there. Like that set remained for a little while after the rest of the caves.
Well, and I think that's what I'm thinking of. I feel like there's at least twice after Reckoning where he returns there, but it's him in the red jacket and the blue shirt. Who cares? Like, I think it's just recycled footage.
That might be. If it is, I never clocked it. And honestly, certainly by season 6, we didn't see it again because he was just running up there if he needed to go up there.
Right.
It was assumed, understood.
Well, and it was at that point, it was like, why are you using the wormhole? Just take a sprint.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what we end up. We don't end up actually seeing him make that. It's just sort of he appears there.
It's harder now. The ice is melted. You can't run across it as easily.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem. Yeah.
But this is also an episode where I'm watching it now with 2023 glasses, and I'm like, would this make it to air? Would some of this make it to air today?
Some of this for sure would not.
Yeah.
They would be a lot more sensitive about the Kawatche people.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. There was just certain elements I was like, a lot funny in this episode, though, that wasn't supposed to be funny. I don't remember.
That's the thing.
I don't remember motocross being a really big thing between Clark and Pete.
I did not remember that at all. I felt like I was watching it for the first time, and I have rewatched season 2. Maybe not as much since the series ended, but for a few years there. Every summer, inspired by Steve with his whole Summer of Smallville thing, I was binge rewatching the whole series every summer for a couple of years until it got to be maybe till season 8, and it was like, this is too many to do in a summer.
I know when the DVDs came out, I would do that.
Oh, sure.
I would go back through. And I did the Smallville Beginnings, like when they would those on like Sunday afternoons and stuff, and then in the summer. But, down the line, once we got to like season 6 and 7, I wasn't going back to the beginning unless I was going back to, to pull something. Like I'm sure when Talisman happened, I went back and watched Skinwalkers.
Right.
And stuff like that. And maybe even when Tess was, trying to make sense that Doomsday was actually Sagith and not Lex, which, whether or not, that's just her opinion. That's just like your opinion, man.
A lot of the Veritas stuff doesn't really hold up if you actually watch.
So to continue our how long now? Since 2016. Well, really, since we were on the show to begin with, the original run of the show to begin with, but Steve has really honed in on this keeping track of numbering of things happening to Kent truck, and we do lose a truck in this episode, but it's not the Kent truck, it's the foreman's truck at the at the construction site where they're building.
The whole construction site goes kaboom.
Yeah.
They did explosions extremely well.
Remember that season 2 budget?
Oh.
That season 2 to season 4 budget was really something.
Primo.
Yeah.
Amazing. Even season 5, there's some,
season 5. I forgot season 5 because once we get that CW money, it's it's the polar opposite of CBS money.
Right. But the WB budget for these, it's such a filmic look. I mean, obviously it's shot on film, but like it had such a cinematic look to it. Didn't look like TV. It was shot like a WB film, honestly. Yeah. Like it has that look.
Well,
the
we
late
were
90s
watching
TV look.
when we went to Vancouver in 21. We went around this time. Well, October.
It's like October 21.
October of 21 we went, which would have been when Smallville took place, October of 2001. Yes. Oh my God, we were there 20. Yeah. Did we know that at the time? Did we clock that?
Yeah, we knew it was the 20th anniversry. Yeah, it was. We went like a week after the 20th anniversary.
That's right. We did. But to see all that, and then I remember we were like, we need to pick like 2 episodes to watch.
Yes.
While we were at the Airbnb, so like we would go and visit all the places that we wanted to go to. Well, almost all. It was hard to fit everything in. We never made it to Crater Lake.
Sure. Yeah.
Or Indonesia in Visage.
True.
Which was I came to learn was Pitt Meadows, which is east of Vancouver. Well, we could talk about this more in a minute, but I'll put a pin in it for this. I just want to say it was so hard to film there that they had to go back and do reshoots less than a week before the episode aired on network television.
Up, really?
Like the swamp area and everything, like it was so hard to film that they had to go back and do reshoots. So that was crazy. But anyway, we watched the pilot. We were like, well, we felt like we have to watch the pilot because it was
a given.
It was that became the 20th anniversary while we were there. And like kind of the juxtaposition of like, this just feels so cinematic. Like it doesn't get that season 8 filmed in a back alley, same stretch of a studio set,
Yeah.
That shooting on site, on location makes just a world of difference.
It really does.
When they had the budget to play around with and do these things. And
to do those practical effects like those explosions we were just talking about.
Exactly.
Like that, those gave it a real filmic look too.
Exactly. So, yes, we do lose a truck in this one. Not a Kent truck. But Kyla does jump out the window.
Jump out the window
as the wolf, the Veritas window.
Oh, as the wolf, yes, the Veritas window, yeah. That's when they replace the glass.
That's when it becomes the Veritas. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's not it. Well, of course, it's fine in the next episode.
Just fine
when Helen comes in and to see Lex, and
right.
I see no Veritas symbol there. So why did they do that?
I don't know.
Why of all the things? Why would you not go to a hallway corridor of a window we've never even looked at before?
Yes.
Which I do remember there's a couple of times where people jump out, including Lex, jumps out that hallway corridor window. Why would you not show something else, a la the Clark secret room?
Yeah, make it not a window. Make it something else. That really did vex me at the time and still does, where it's like, people rewatch this show like crazy. Like they were very in touch with the fans on the forums, and on like Brian and Kelly were on some forums. I want to say it was the Krypton site forums. They were active there. They were reading that stuff. They knew that people were crazy. Us fans were kind of crazy about those nitpicky details. That always surprised me that they did that. But it felt like a very sort of 90s TV move where you'd be like, well, no one's going to go back and rewatch it anyway. These air once and no one ever sees them again.
Network TV in its heyday, folks. We got 20 plus episodes to get out. We don't have time for this 10 episode streaming business.
Right. So throw out the show Bible. Replacing a window.
Yeah, speaking of the show Bible, also the Heart of the Ship makes an appearance in this episode.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Like, where'd that go?
Yeah, possibly for its last time.
I feel like it comes back again. I hate the mythology that I have lost.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I feel.
Go ahead.
I feel bad having forgotten things, which is a weird thing.
Because then I see something, I'm like, why didn't I remember that? And then my kid's like, what's my birthday? I'm like, I don't remember. Go away. Dad, what's my social security number? Okay, so the Heart of the Ship had a different Kryptonian alphabet, but then later they adopted the real DC alphabet, and then everything kind of,
No, not the ship that looked like an artichoke. The one after that.
Yeah, the real ship, not the one under the cloth. They did a better job. I feel stupid. The things that I do remember from this show that have pushed out things that I probably should remember from my life are far more important. I love that Clark falls 150 feet, however many feet down this cave, gets absolutely yeeted off that dirt bike. Where did these dirt bikes come from?
Dude, I don't know. Did they rent them?
Whose are these?
What's the story? No wonder Pete is such a speed demon if they're riding all around these dirt bikes.
There's not much to do in Kansas.
I guess, yeah. Tip over cows and motocross.
Yeah. Well, see, I feel guilty. I can tie those two things together. It's like in season 2 when Clark runs away to Metropolis on the motorcycle, I was always like, where did he get that motorcycle? And I was like, duh, he had it in, red. Oh. It was Jonathan's. He had it all
I always thought it was Jonathan.
Stuff I forgot about. It was the red kryptonite motorcycle because it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Multiple times. Clark falls all this way. A beautiful woman walks up to him and he's like, Lana.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Come on. He's not that out of it.
No. But Kyla tells Clark that Naman is supposed to be the protector of the entire world. I also don't remember the term brother being used in later mythology, that Sagith was his brother. No,
they definitely don't make a ton of reference to that.
Yeah.
Moving forward. But they make it, honestly, that's more of a argument in favor of the Doomsday opinion, isn't it? that they're brothers.
I mean, maybe in Onyx you can kind of make that.
Yeah, right,
yeah. Yeah, there was other. There's the brother, and there was something else that she says. I can't remember what now. But Kyla's grandfather, Joseph Willowbrook, Kyla Willowbrook, Joseph Willowbrook. They're from Granville, but this all is obviously Kawatche land. Has been for hundreds of years, and the caves are part of that. The cave drawings are. Did they say how many hundred years old the caves drawings were? I can't even remember.
I don't know if they say how old they are, but they're obviously ancient. Kyla says that her people have been passing down these stories as oral tradition for years, and that there was according to legend they were written in the earth a long time ago, and now she's found them.
They're very vibrant for 100 years ago. The colors just
really the pigments they're they're underground, they're undisturbed by the elements.
Yeah, I guess sure. Even though what Lex calls it in the musty cave air.
What I want to know is, where did she enter the caves from? Where's the secret entrance that she knows about?
I know.
But no one else
obviously
seems to know
is the one they end up using, because nobody's jumping down that far,
right?
Later, but
how does nobody know they exist if she the Kawatche people do, but no one else does, and so they're
become familiar with it, and then it just becomes this really go-to set from seasons 2 and 3 and 4 of, there's a rave down there.
Yep.
Lionel trying to figure out what's behind the cave wall. All this stuff. So, but we also talk about, that's the other thing, not only Sagith being a brother, but that the star being gone, which could be Rao. Could be the discussion of Raoul's sun burning out, and obviously, Krypton being destroyed. So this is also a very interesting episode leading up to Rosetta. We're only a few episodes away from Rosetta at this point, and that is when we do get the full Kryptonian alphabet and more in-depth look.
Do we ever really dive into how the Kryptonians and the Kawatche people are interlinked? Like, do we think that Kryptonian visited them long ago and left this legend behind, and they wrote it down? Like, I'm really very curious as to how those two. I wish that there was more of a payoff to that connection, that link between those two cultures.
They really tiptoed around.
I imagine they at some point thought they would tie those things together, and they just kept kicking the can down the road and never got around to it.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to remember if Jeremiah and Talisman, I remember he was supposed to be like the Kawatche leader. Like, he was supposed to be...
He's like Joseph's successor.
Yeah.
One day he
wasn't related because his name wasn't Willow Brooks.
No, but he was a student. He was Joseph's student. And the idea was that he was sort of the up and coming, future leader of the people.
Yeah. But there's no, I don't remember any connection, any specific connection. I mean, obviously the Kawatche tribe is fictional.
Well, sure.
It is not real.
But yeah, they don't really flesh out that connection. They hint at it a lot, and there clearly is some kind of connection.
There's nothing about the witches, the stones of power, and any of that tie into it.
No, and that would have been a good time to do it. It makes me think that there must be some kind of a story like the one where Jor-El comes and falls in love with Lana's ancestor.
Relic.
And which one?
Relic.
Thank you. I got to think something like that happened, where Kryptonian came and came into the Kawatche society.
Real connection that I'm sure Tim is screaming at his iPod right now. Not that
I'm sure. Well, that's my headcanon anyway.
Not that he listens via an iPod. Why would you use the logo of an iPod for Shield? Nobody uses those anymore. Why would you use the Fortress after it gets destroyed? They do tie in a lot to this episode, though, because even they find a way to bring Henry Small in.
Yeah, right.
And we do find out the revelation that he is Lana's father. And then we drop that very quickly.
Like a hot potato.
Yeah, like a hot potato.
Lana, no time for your feelings.
Well, that's another thing at the end of this episode, which I guess we've discussed a lot of what we're going to discuss with it. But, Clark just had this real hot and heavy relationship with Kyla, who died, and he's up there mourning, and here comes Lana. Oh, Whitney's missing. Let's make it about me.
Yeah,
gotta make it about me.
Cliffhanger for next week. Am I right?
Well, in such weird episodes to have back to back too, when you have Clark in this and again, it was I guess you can only call it a fling because she died, but
sure.
And then in the next. The cold open of the next episode is Lana eye-humping white, wet T-shirt Clark.
Yes.
While Whitney's MIA, even though she broke up with him via a video.
She did.
Whatever.
One thing I got to say before we move on, Kyla totally gaslights him when he's like, do you think your grandfather could be the wolf? And she's like, no, and I am offended at the implication that it
dare you.
How Lionel Luthor does control you all. I am storming off. Like, what was your plan? Honestly, I had the thought she is going into this relationship with him the way that he goes into the relationship with Lana,
a little bit,
where she is holding, he is open with her, and she is not telling him her about her abilities and whatnot.
You're not wrong.
It really is like getting a taste of his own medicine in a way. I'd never really thought that through before, but she completely gaslights him and is like, the implication is, that is, I can't even be in this room with you anymore.
How dare you? I did think it was interesting. At one point, Kyla mentioned, and I forgot about this, that while the Skinwalker is an old legend within the Kawatche, it really only got credence after the meteor shower. It's like this ancient Kawatche legend that's like 15 years old. But, one thing I want to say before moving on, I thought was in poor taste, but then I realized it was just me being in poor taste, which happens a lot. When Martha comes out of, where was she? Luthor Corp? Like, that wasn't Luthor Corp in Metropolis. Was she at the construction site? I never got a good idea of where she was.
Parking lot. It might have been Luthor. It must have been some Luthor Corp facility in Smallville.
Well, there's only the one. I don't know. But anyway, she's coming out. It's gated up, so I had to think it may have been the construction site. But regardless, she's going to her car, which I forgot she had a red car. And I thought, is that a Luthor Corp car? Because she didn't have a car. I couldn't remember if it was a company car or not.
Yeah.
But I saw it at the first shot from a distance, and I thought it was a Ford Thunderbird, and I was like, oh, no. Oh, no! That's not good! But it was a Taurus, so it's fine.
A Taurus? Do we see that car? I'm thinking, like, when do we see Martha driving? I'm thinking about Spirit.
Yeah, it would have been gone by that point, though, because she didn't work for...
No,
she's driving
she's driving the
truck in Spirit? She is.
I think she's driving the red truck, Jonathan's truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was a company car.
That's interesting. I don't know if I ever really picked up on that being a company car. Yeah.
It's still so weird to me that she's the executive assistant for Lionel, who's blind, who's living with Lex, but their offices are in Metropolis, and they're 3 hours away, and it's like, what is happening here?
That's another thing, right? The distance between Smallville and Metropolis got real.
We don't talk about that.
Real blurred by the end. No pun intended.
We don't talk about that. Although we will be talking about that in the next episode because it's my favorite episode of the entire series.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited for that. When I realize that's next,
and I hope I have a surprise in store for that. We shall see.
All right,
we shall see. Also in this episode, and then I'll move on to Visage, which I even have less to say about. Sheriff Ethan, who I always loved in the original run of the series. Obviously, his reputation gets horribly tainted in the end. And watching back through, I'm always like, you're a dick. every choice you make now, I'm judging against what you end up doing. And and I don't even do that with Lex or Lionel. Because you know that going in. You know they're going to be awful. And obviously Lionel.
It's the pretending, it's the knowing that he was a phony, I think is the thing. Because Lex is not a phony. Lex is trying to be good. He's not the best, but he's trying to be a good dude. And turns out it goes the evil way. But Ethan, it seems like, was just sort of quietly, secretly a jerk the whole time. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember when that is that he screws up.
It's what's the one where Jonathan gets framed? Witness sounds right. Yeah, it's season 3.
It's coming up. No, it's this season, isn't it?
Is it season 2? Nancy comes in season 2?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Suspect.
Okay, Suspect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the episode where Jonathan gets framed.
Yeah,
anyway,
gets framed.
Yeah. Every time from here on out, I'm like, don't be nice to the Kents.
Right. Yeah.
I know it's a small town, but you're a jerk.
Right.
Visage.
Right.
Is our next episode. I've always assumed I'm saying that right.
Yeah, I think you are.
Episode 211, the 32nd episode of the series. Also funny, Brian and Kelly wrote Skinwalker.
Mm-hmm.
Visage, Todd and Darren.
Nice.
Who end up being co-showrunners, the 4 of them showrunners, starting in season 8 after the departure of Alan Miles. So 2 of those back-to-back is interesting. Yeah, it is Visage, right? I mean, it's a face. That's Visage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why am I second guessing that? I know that.
I mean, in French, it's probably Visage, but in English. We say
Tina
Visage.
Greer episodes are the funniest episodes of the series to me. I'm sorry, Fortune, you hold nothing on Tina Greer episodes.
Fortune is good, but yeah, Tina Greer.
Fortune cannot hold a candle to the hilarity of a Tina Greer twofer, and this is part 2. The final appearance, the sequel, if you will, of Tina Greer, who just goes to. Poor Lizzie Kaplan. Wonderful actor. Love her
God bless
dearly.
Lizzie Kaplan. She does
so
commit.
Good, but good Lord, she goes all in.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first episode of 2003.
Ah, okay. Didn't realize.
Yeah, so kicking off the show's third year. Not third season, but third year. Whitney, who left at the end of season 1 to join the Marines in Indonesia.
Where
we don't worry about that.
Yeah, I have never understood that.
Well, you don't want to drop him in the Middle East. I guess that's too...
Yeah, that was charged.
Given?
Although that was only just starting in 2003. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, really just starting at the end of season...
Well, yeah. Season 1, yeah. Beginning of season 1, even. But yeah.
So, yes, we do find out at the end of the previous episode, Whitney is MIA. He's been missing in action. No idea where he is. Does not keep Lana from wanting to jump Clark's bones at the beginning of this episode after a pipe bursts in.
Who can blame her?
The talent, not me. Tom looked. I mean, I can say this with the unblemished stretch of heterosexuality. Tom Welling, ladies and gentlemen.
That was the most awkward way you could have said that.
I'm quoting something.
Unblemished
I'm quoting something, but now I can't remember what it was. Somebody else has said that before, but that's not true because I look at Michael Keaton and I'm like, "Am I straight?" No.
Valid.
Whitney, though, returns home in one of the most awkward. Okay, let me be honest. Let me pull back. Let me Steve Glosson pull back the curtain here for a minute. I was up against the clock on this one. You and I have rescheduled a couple times, and I do appreciate you doing this. It's my fault. And I was like, I still have not gotten to watch Visage. So I did watch it a little faster than what you're supposed to watch a normal TV show at. I did the Robin Burge. And what Robin Burge does is if he doesn't like, if he's watching something and is not totally, if a show is losing him, he'll watch it at a faster speed.
Yes.
I tend not to do that. But then I think, how many years do I have left on this earth? Maybe I should be watching, The Curse on Showtime just a little bit faster than what I am because
it's like 1.25. Just a little.
I did watch Visage at 2 times speed because I was like, I've got 30 minutes. I should probably go from 42 minutes to 21.
And you know what happens? I mean, come on.
It's hilarious. Put a laugh track behind it. Funniest episode. But anyway, Whitney, air quotes, does return. The Smallville High School hallway. And
everyone
freezes.
Part the waters.
Part
Here
the
he
Red
comes.
Sea. Here he comes. Lana drops her books. They embrace. There's nothing like you would expect there to be applause. It's like an officer and a gentleman. Maybe at the end he picks her up, carries her off. Something.
Right?
I don't know. Everybody's like, all right. And then they just mill back.
Go about their business.
Just go back. Also, freeze frame. If you don't watch it at 2 times speed, you can catch the first appearance of Evangeline Lilly. This is
her first appearance? Nice.
Her first of many non-speaking roles on Smallville.
I did not realize how many, what a regular she was as a background actor
7?
on that show.
I can't even remember. It's between 4 and 6. She shows up multiple times.
I noticed, I think I knew about one of those. I knew she was there.
Yeah.
But when TalkVille started pointing out how many appearances, that's really when I clocked just how present she was.
Yeah. I thought this is dedefinitely one I don't think I've watched since maybe the season 2 DVD came out because why? It doesn't really play into anything. I might have watched it. Then this is what I was thinking. I was like, we never see Whitney again. Well, we do. Obviously, we have a flashback. In season
4.
No, way later. Tom's wearing a wig.
Oh, I remember a flashback to a football game or a footbal practice.
Yeah,
right?
It's a season 1 flashback, obviously.
Right.
But what? Oh God!
Flashback to season 1 era, but I don't. I guess I.
That's gonna drive me. Yeah, Tom's wearing an awful wig. And then,
I think I knew about one of those. I knew she was there. Yeah.
But Oh, it is season 4. Why did I think it was so much later than that?
I was going to say, I don't remember anything. They pretty much stopped referring to the high school years after about season 5.
Yeah, it's season 4. Wow, during freshman year 2001, the Smallville high school football players are rallying the students for the start of the season. Lana Lang is perched above the dunk tank, and Whitney Fordman recruits Clark.
Yeah, the dunk tank. Oh, and then it ends with... That's one that ends with Lois putting him in the dunk tank?
The dunk tank, yeah. With
Lois
okay. That iconic Avril Lavigne.
Yes.
One of the most iconic musical moments on the show to me. Why did I think it was so much later than that?
I don't know, bro. Don't know.
Bruh.
When they talked to Eric on TalkVille, he did say that he came back to do that guest appearance and it almost didn't happen. Like they had him on set and they kept delaying shooting it, and then he had to catch a flight, and he was like, okay, I gotta leave now, and they were like, wait, no, we're not ready for you, and he's like, I told you how to catch a flight.
I gotta film Flash Gordon, bro.
Right. Yeah. They tried. But yeah, that so it's like one, his last real appearance. I mean, the Indonesia scene is the last actual, in timeline real appearance.
Well, he dies. He gets blown. We see him die. We don't know that we see him die, but we see him die.
Confirmed later in the episode, yeah.
That's weird. I thought that was later. I don't know why I thought that. I was thinking it was season 7 for some reason. Why was Tom wearing such a horrible wig? Maybe he wasn't. Maybe they just did his hair weird to make it look like season 1.
Maybe that's it, yeah.
I don't know. And it says here, I'm looking it up, it says here he's mentioned in Labyrinth, which why of all episodes, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Season 6. Oh, when Clark's, I guess it's when they're going through all Clark's memories of things he's made up. There's a patient. I think there's a Whitney Fordman patient.
Oh, that's right. Asylum. Yes. Okay.
God, the things I have forgotten that I used to know. My Lord, my Lord. Well, anyway, it's not Whitney. That's in the hallway. It's Tina.
It's Tina.
She has found out, who is also in an asylum. I guess Belle Reve. They never really say where.
No, they don't say, do they?
She's been locked up. That she died. I thought Clark was a reporter for the Torch. Surely he would have known. Surely he read page 2.
Right.
Find Chloe's captivating story on. I mean, honestly, if you looked at high school newspapers across the nation, this one would have been going viral. Everybody would have been like, "Have you read this week's Torch? The principal got blown up." Right.
If this show were set even 10 years later, maybe even 5 years later than it is, the Torch would absolutely be a social media.
Oh, the TikToks.
It would be Perez Hilton of its time.
Everybody. Well, the FBI would surely be investigating because there's just way too much weird stuff. Ethan's always like, I don't know. And let's move on to next week.
I don't know why this Kent kid's always there on the scene first, but let it go.
The Torch should be selling out like gangbusters. I mean, they should be charging for it because everybody would be buying.
This should be funding the entire school district.
Yes, absolutely. There's no end to the stuff going on. The fact that a former student who could chameleon into other people, a changeling, completing suicide in an asylum by dousing herself in gasoline and lighting a match on fire, was on page 2?
That
didn't even make front page? What the hell happened? What the hell? I guess the wolf, being a changeling from the previous week, took page 1. My God.
Yeah.
It's that topped page 2?
Smallville's favorite son returns.
What's going on? Anyway, I thought Clark would have known that, but clearly not.
You'd think.
Clearly he did not realize that Tina was dead, nor was she. She didn't kill herself. They didn't check the dental records. She killed somebody else. They don't even mention who that poor bastard is.
Nope. I love that Clark just on a hunch is like, did they check the dental records?
Well, that's another thing that if you watch this at 2 times speed, it's like the quick, did they check the dental records? And then they're automatically walking down the hallway. It's like, something smells rotten in Denmark tonight, folks. Something's up. And then here comes Lana. Pete, protect Lana.
Right.
Sorry, Pete's got a concussion. I mean, his neck should have been broken. The dent the dent in those lockers versus the cut on his head. That boy's dead.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sorry, why didn't he just yell Clark?
Right, honestly,
he was right down the hall.
Honestly,
I mean, maybe he took off at super speed. The good thing about Smallville in 2002 is that high school didn't have security cameras.
Nah. Nah.
I remember Tupelo High School in 2002, and you just walk in anywhere. So,
sure.
Yeah,
and clearly, Whitney just walks his way in.
Yeah.
And no one bats an eye at the idea of a man who's now, must be 20, is going to date a 16-year-old. No problem. That's not weird. Not weird at all.
Well, and tries
she's still in high school, and we're just going to go back to dating. No problem.
Tries to move in with her, tries to marry, tries to propose to her,
My favorite is when his mom is like, "Oh, just like it should be. My son dating the prettiest girl in school."
Yeah.
First of all, she's not an object.
No.
Secondly, do you really think your 20-year-old son should be dating the prettiest girl in school? He's not in school.
She's going to get tied up with duct tape in a minute.
That's not.
But
that's
the
not.
funniest,
that would not pass muster in 2023.
The funniest thing you can watch at 2 times speed of this episode is the army sergeant coming to the door and getting invited in, and then suddenly getting bludgeoned to death, and her screaming like it happens within 15, like a 2-minute scene.
It's real fast.
Gets shut.
And before even that, he's like, "Oh, what's up, Sergeant?" Like, that's not how you would address your superior.
He comes down
officer.
the stairs with a bat, swinging the bat like it's like, "What's up, bitches? Let's have some fun."
He could have dealt with that. There's so many things that Tina could have dealt with way more delicately. If she's obviously criminally insane, right? That's why she's in an asylum.
So much more unhinged in this episode than she was in
way
X-Ray.
More. And she had a decent plan going in. As far as the airtightness of a plan, not a bad plan in terms of, okay, I'm going to become the person that Lana should be with, and then I get to be with her. Like, okay, on the face of it, evil plan.
If you look past the whole, how did she find out that Whitney was MIA in an asylum? Like, if you go past all, I guess newspapers are in the asylum. Who knows?
It's a small town. Word travels. I don't know. But the idea that she was gonna, kill somebody right in front of his mom and then yell at his mom about what's my favorite radio station.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you already have the amnesia cover. Like, it's fine. It's fine. Lana will believe you forgot your radio station.
It's got to be on the right channel. I don't know, the one with the loud rock. Get off me.
Jeez, man. Are you going to keep her locked up in the basement every time you need information? Like, eventually people are going to wonder what happened to her.
I also thought it was funny after she shoves Clark off the porch, or Whitney shoves Clark off the porch and he x-rays. It's like, I think that's Tina. Why didn't you just x-ray like a foot to the left and see the woman tied up in the chair?
I know.
In the midst of this episode, you have the whole B plot about Helen getting paid off by Lionel and Lex investigating, and whatever. It's not that interesting.
I have always wondered though about that plot. I agree with you. It's not the most interesting, but I have always wondered, did more happen there than she said? Because when she does eventually turn on Lex, I don't know, like, did she accept the money from Lionel? Did she, all of those things start to plan when you rewatch it through the lens of knowing where the story ends.
Right.
It does start to introduce some doubt as to whether she was being honest or as much of a saint as she was trying to look like.
Her exit is one of my, and I'm looking forward to talking about it come the end of the season. Her exit is one of my favorite what could have beens that they just left hanging. It's the what's her name from Heroes season 2 of storylines on, Peter leaving that girl in the past or whatever.
Yes.
It's kind of that whole thing of, well, what happened to her? Like, something could have happened there. I mean, surely she got out and I guess got to be rich and live her life, and the money, swayed her or whatever.
Yeah.
To kill Lex. I mean, to be a doctor, but, to pretty much murder or assume that she's murdering Lex.
Mm-hmm.
But,
well, those 2 weeks a year she spends in Rwanda treating orphan children really does wonders for her conscience.
Well, I'm always like, imagine her coming back in like season 8, fueled with the knowledge that she had up against like Tess or something. Like how interesting that could have been. The things that they might have been able to do with that's just left hanging by her jumping out of a plane and never being hurt.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, if Lex had stuck around, imagine she shows up after he kills Lionel. Spoilers. And you know the damage she could do to him at that point. Like what so interesting.
One of the more interesting aspects of this episode, though, to me, is again, one I've not watched in some time. I remembered we were talking before we pressed record, the ship neutralizing the kryptonite of the necklace, which does make a few more appearances. I mean, you remember Lana's wearing it at her death and hereafter, the clear kryptonite, as it were. But she's got Clark tied up in the cellar, and I'm like, where's the ship? Like, she's not seeing this? And then it's over there in the dark. Because I forgot about it humming in the dark, like starting to pulse in the dark. I'm like, oh, that was cool. I completely forgot about that, just being over there under the tarp and start shooting through and then projecting the wave out that neutralized the kryptonite because it sensed that it was harming.
And you know what? Almost 21, I mean, just about 21 years after this aired, that effect of the ship under the blanket, like coming to life, looked awesome.
Yeah, it looked really good.
1080.
It looked really good.
Awesome.
And there's nothing to it, I'm sure. I mean, it was just a light under a tarp.
Right.
But even the effects of the vortex of the wave, kind of pulsing out was really well done.
It looked great. Like it really, I had not paid that close attention to the look of it. It just,
I never understood why Jonathan was looking for Clark.
Why was Jonathan?
Maybe something in the barn. Maybe he walked in the barn and saw signs of a scuffle.
Yeah.
When she was pretending to be Jonathan.
Right.
I do love the way Schneider plays Tina. I always thought that was really funny. That any word from Tina? No.
The way he pulls out the necklace and just dangles it there. Oh, so good. So good.
I forget what I was going to say. Yeah. That's all I can really think about, though. I thought it was funny. The Lex is like, Whitney might be. PTSD wasn't really in the vernacular.
No.
I mean, post-traumatic stress disorder obviously was a thing and a very serious thing, but the way we utilize and some throw around the term PTSD is not, it was not as much 1 years ago.
It wasn't in the common parlance like it is now. It certainly wasn't understood.
No, and it was mostly heard from people coming home from war.
Yes,
that was where it was utilized the most in terminology. So PTSD is not. In today, if this was airing in 2023, Lex would have just said PTSD. He would not have said post-traumatic stress disorder. But he may be suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. I had employees have that after the tornado. Those are two totally different things.
Very different.
I'll set him up with a specialist in Metropolis because that's what I do.
Right.
I've got them all on speed dial.
Got the best doctors in the world.
All of them on speed dial. But obviously we do find out that Whitney died. That's why the guy obviously came to see Mrs. Fordman. He was killed in action.
Very, very... And, Annette's reaction on hearing that from Jonathan...
Yeah.
Beautiful moment there because it really, my first reaction for a second was like, well, he was missing, but then it really does, this kid you knew since he went to school with your kid and he was just a child.
He knows Betty. He knows Mrs. Fordman. Martha knew Mrs. Fordman. Really
that's right.
Well.
So she's, she really sold that.
Yeah.
She really sold
absolutely.
that.
Well, even the Jonathan thing, I don't know how much I need to say this. I look back at some of these episodes now, like Skinwalker, and I'm always like, I wonder what Schneider thought when reading some of these scripts.
Yeah.
Just knowing his mindset, and his mindset's much louder now than it was when I worked for him post his exit from the show. So I'm always like, I just wonder if he
might have feelings.
Regardless, he sold it every time.
He did.
He's an
sold it.
excellent actor.
Yes.
He really is. But when the whole telling Clark he was going to go to that party because Whitney's a hero and all that stuff. But I love the moment in the window at the end when Clark is like, he's not bulletproof. Whitney wasn't bulletproof, and he put himself in the line of danger.
Great moment.
Is that something I can do? And that pull out from the window, which is not a shot we got.
I was noticing that as I was watching it, because now having been to the real house, right? Like looking at that angle, and I was like, wait, how far back? Like I was waiting to see what was going to be outside of the house, because I know that's a set that they shoot those interior scenes on. We don't really ever get that shot like going from interior to exterior on that set.
Not a whole lot. I mean, there's a few times where you see them walk out the door.
Yes, but then they usually match that with a shot of them on the real balcony, on the real porch. Right, because the set itself did have similar exterior to the actual farm in Vancouver. They did it to match. Right. I was watching Tim was posting something on Twitter the other day, X, whatever it's called, of the wedding scene from the finale of the church, the chapel. And I never really noticed this before, but Clark, Lana doesn't...
what? No! Lana! No, Derek! No! What have you done?
Lois walks in, doesn't see Clark. There's that hesitation of her, and then he comes up and grabs her hand, and that's when, don't turn on that lamp. That all happens.
Right.
But the church, I think we are watching... I think that church is wearing the meat suit of Smallville, of the Kent farm, because the boarding is yellow.
No.
I think that's probably after they finished... They wrapped on
dismantling
Kent farm and dismantled it and used it for the church.
That's wild.
Go back and watch that scene from the finale, and I was kind of like, is that the...
I'm going to need to watch that with more, because I'm clearly misremembering I'm remembering that church being bigger, the interior being
it's just the back wall. It's just the back wall is that yellow, and I was like, is that?
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So do you think it's the interior of what was the farmhouse?
No, I think it's the exterior.
The exterior.
I think it's the exterior of the yellow.
Okay. The yellow wall on the exterior.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting, and a strange detail to leave in a yellow wall like that. That's very interesting.
It may have been the front of the church. I can't remember now. I'd have to go back and watch it. But I think it is the boards of one of the exterior walls of Kent Farm that was used on set, not the actual Kent Farm that they used the exterior shots for.
The set
version that they had exterior shots for.
That's fascinating if true.
Yeah.
It's funny because they did other church, Lex and Lana's wedding and other
and those
times
were actual
churches. Those were actual churches. They shot on location.
Yeah, they shot on location.
Huh.
I think Smallville Parish is the bones are their money. The Kent Farm bones.
The bones are their money. Huh.
Well, that's it for these two.
One last note.
Jerry's final thought. Frank's final thought.
One more thing, ma'am.
Yeah,
Columbo. The last scene, the closing scene where Lana comes to Clark and she bears her soul about, all these people have left me, but Clark, you've always been around. I will always remember that first of all, incredible performance by Kristen there. She really nails it.
She sold a lot in this episode.
She really does.
Looking back, I didn't give Kristen enough credit because it was so easy to just dismiss the pining and the waywardness and the whining as something other than the writing, and that's all it was. They didn't know what to do with her for so much, and that was so much of the get together, break apart, get together, break apart, get together, break apart. And I blamed so much on that at Kristen at the time, and not because I didn't like Kristen, I really did, but it got to be an eye roll for me. Like it got tiring, and
you start to visually associate her with those feelings, like right? You see her and you think about the writing and how you feel about the writing.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's not her fault because she sold it every time, even if it was horrible line. Like, she did a great job, and she's a great actor, and I wish she did more.
Same, yeah. I do too. I mean, she does Canadian television, but it's not the kind of shows that I
she
tend
did that
to watch.
procedural and I forget what it was called, the legal procedural show on the CW, and I think she's a fantastic actor, and I hate that younger me that wanted Superman, that wanted mythology, that wanted Clark Kent, was always like, oh, this again.
I know.
And I was so different about that come Lois Lane, because I was like, yes. And that's part of it, is I never really cared about Lana from the comics growing up. I cared about the romance of Clark and Lois, the comic books ort couple. Anyway, I interrupted you. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. You're fine. First of all, I think that's a very mature sort of change of opinion over time. I've realized that, and I think a lot of the fan community was guilty of that. All the needs more Lana jokes from the time. Mm-hmm. People did sort of put that at the feet of Kristen, and I think you're right that maybe unfairly redirected how people felt about the writing. But that scene in particular, I just think is one of her finest moments, like acting moments on the whole show, and. A funny little piece. I don't know why this has stuck with me, but it has. Around this time, there was a show on I guess still the WB, called The Starlet, and it was sort of America's Next Top Model. Yeah, it was like a Next Top Model type of thing where they were going to, all these young women who wanted to be the next. I think they were going to give a role on an upcoming WB show to whatever woman won this sort of contest show by the end of it. And they were going to try to make her a starlet. It was sort of in the spirit of American Idol and that kind of thing, right? That those shows were big at the time. And one of the episodes, my sister was into this show, which is the only reason I remember it. One of the episodes, they gave them this scene to read, and they made all these actresses act out this piece of dialogue. And so you got to see 5-10 women all act out this scene with a scene partner, and so I just remember that, and that was actually before I was really watching Smallville, and I remember that when I got to this episode, I was like, "That's the scene! That's the scene that they were all doing." So I don't know if anyone remembers The Starlet from 2003, 2004, whenever that was.
Corporate Synergy.
Yeah, this scene makes an appearance.
I have no memory of that. Whatsoever.
I don't think anyone watched it. I think it got canceled after a season.
It was called The Starlet.
Yep.
It premiered on March 6, 2005. 10 young actresses live in a home formerly owned by Marilyn Monroe while competing in a series of acting challenges for the chance to win a role on the WB drama One Tree Hill.
Oh, One Tree Hill. Okay. 2005, so it's later than I thought even. But yeah, there you go.
That is wild. I have no memory of this whatsoever.
I wonder if I could dig up that episode, if it exists anywhere on the internet where someone could watch it. But
yeah, the Wikipedia doesn't even have the list of episodes, like how many it ran for or anything.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was canceled on April 5th, 2005 after the single season of only 6 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Andrea Mullins won.
That name actually does sound familiar.
Yes, she went on to become Miss Texas Teen USA.
Well, I don't think that's where I know her from, but thank you for assuming that.
I know you're big into the...
I'm big in the pageant circuit.
So... Yeah. No memory of that. So that's funny. If you could find that, let me know. I'd love to send that along with this episode out to the masses. That's really interesting.
I'll see if I can dig it up. But
that's just one of those WB shows that happened and went away.
Yep, exactly.
There were so many of those. Man, I miss the WB though.
Oh, that was such a, the WB was really a classic. There's something so classic about the look, the feel of it was a real Hollywood look that shows Friends was a Warner Brothers Studios show. It had such a distinctive Hollywood TV look to it.
Sure. That
Smallville sort of carries on that tradition, at least in the first few seasons in the cinematography. It was sort of a house style that I feel like a lot of Warner Brothers properties had at the time.
Well, and they just had so many, quote unquote, for whatever your genre or feel is, but ones that have stuck with people, hits that, Buffy, Seventh Heaven ran for 10 years, Charmed, Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill. I mean, there were just so many of those. Roswell, so many of those that still people today are like, that was my favorite show. That was what I grew up watching. Wasn't Sister? Wasn't that a WB show before, or was that ABC? I can't remember.
I thought that might have been UPN.
Or UPN, I can't remember. It's just, it's weird to think how in demand and how cool that was in 2001, 2002 versus now we look at HBO Max and we're like, what have you done? You're canceling.
I know, it's so true.
You're canceling Looney Tunes? Like,
yeah.
Your mascot was a Looney Tune. It was Michigan J. Frog.
Yeah.
Why they chose to call that HBO Max and never called it the WB and you've got a mascot built in. Like, you could have just called that streaming service the WB and had Michigan J. Frog as your mascot.
They decided a long time ago that HBO was the better brand name than Warner Brothers, and I can understand why they felt that way, but I think it was ultimately probably a mistake. They did try to bring back the WB as it
was up streaming. It lasted for 6 months. Like, this is nothing.
Yeah, and this is before Netflix streaming. This was just a website where you could stream old episodes of some shows, and it wasn't really a strategy around it. And like you said, it lasted a few months and it was gone.
Yeah,
but yeah. And they called it the WB. They did. They took that name, but
and
didn't do much with it.
Didn't do a thing with it. Frank, thank you for joining. I forgot about Supernatural. Well, that was CW, wasn't it?
That was CW by then.
Frank, tell them where they can find you.
Oh, sure. Well, I got banned from Twitter, so that's gone. But you can.
Who has?
That's over.
You're in the elite force if you're getting banned from that place.
Yeah. Well. You can find me at on if you like Mastodon Threads. I'm Frank Ramblings on Threads. If you enjoy Mastodon, you can find me over
there. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, I'm still on it.
All right.
On ramblings.social, you can find me at Frank on ramblings.social. And but you can find me at beerwithgeeks.com. That's my main flagship podcast with my buddy Tim. We open up a beer and talk about geeky things. We have recently talked about the Marvels and other things that have recently dropped in the geek world. So be sure to check that out. And when Superman and Lois is on the air, Derek and Robin and I are talking about that show. We'll be roaring up for season 4 whenever that gets ready to drop.
The final season.
It's the 4th and final
stretch of episodes. Sad to see that one go.
Yeah,
I do find it fitting that the WB, the DC on the WB started with Smallville and will end with Superman and Lois, which does in its own way kind of feel like Smallville season 20.
Yeah,
in some regards,
in a lot of ways. But anyhow, so SupermanTVTalk.com and BeerWithGeeks.com are the places to find me.
Good deal. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, bud. Always a blast.
Do more shoe and more with you and Robin and everybody. You can find us online, smallvillepodcast.com. That's right, smallvillepodcast.com. Also on Twitter at ShoeSmallville, I believe, and on Instagram at Starkville House of L. And Tim's got us on the TikTok at Smallville Podcast on there as well. And you can always email us. Easiest way to get in touch with us is mail@smallvillepodcast.com. Next time, I'm hoping for a big episode that I'm probably overselling at this point, because Insurgents is my favorite episode of the series. I say that it's not one of those I really waver on. I remember the night it aired. I remember it vividly. It has become one of my it's one of the most memorable scenes of the series to me. It's the introduction of the Daily Planet. It's one of our big first outings in Metropolis, that the whole episode takes place in Metropolis pretty much, other than a couple of scenes with Lex and Smallville. And I think it's got everything. I think it's a real... I call it a legacy episode, even though it's not really I wouldn't consider it really a legacy episode, because it has nothing to do with Krypton, but it is the first...
it's got some... You've got a leg to stand on there,
It's the first giant leap. it's the first...
Yes, there you go. Was that not the other episode the night we were in Vancouver and watched the pilot? Did we not also watch Insurgents?
We might have.
I think we did.
I probably would have been like, all right, boys, sit down. We're watching another one.
Right.
Because that one is, it's just, I think it's a fantastic, I think it's a perfectly written episode. I think the performances from Glover and Annette are wonderful. Under Siege, I think Tom and Schneider do an amazing job on the ground. You've got Rosenbaum, Lex kind of pulling strings in the background, and whether or not he feels guilty or everything. I think it's just a wonderful hour of television. So I'm excited.
I can't wait to hear you talk about it.
Well, and I may have said this before, but it may have been 10 years ago before we talked about it. When Tucker and I first started doing Starkville's House of L in 2005, before we ever got to what Shu was going to be, or what Shu started to be at the end with Vessel and going into Zod and everything, Insurgents was our first ever draft. When we did video commentary. We were going to kind of do MST3K kind of things. So the first thing we ever did early on in 2005, like I think February or March of 2005, was a video episode of Insurgents, which has been lost to time. But
that's a bummer.
No, it's probably way better for it. Trust me. But so it holds a special place in my heart, not only for Smallville, but also for Shu.
Well, you've been very consistent about your, like, if people who look back over the years, Tim could probably put together a reel of you being like, well, I love Insurgents. Insurgents is one of my favorites. Insurgents is...
Don't do it, Tim. Don't do it. I hate the sound of my own voice.
Do it.
Do it. All right.
I'll give you a cookie.
No, don't give him a cookie. If you give Tim a cookie, he's going to want another podcast. All right, we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Kick off your shoes.